I'm Ann. I wanted to do a quick video on real results of print on demand with Etsy. So Etsy is a platform that's a marketplace with handmade items. Print on demand is where you have, let's say it is a t-shirt, your image, your graphic gets printed on that t-shirt and the supplier does all the work for you. So you don't have to actually physically print it or physically ship the product to your customers. So if you've watched this or if you watch other videos, other gurus are telling you about amazing things and how they have retired or doing their business or quit their job. So I wanted to give you some real results. Note, this video, it has nothing to do with my other business. I actually feel like my other business is actually easier than this. And that one has a reputation for being hard. So I've been in this business now for 2 months. Okay, a few things to know. One, I already have experience with Etsy. I had a handmade business about 8 years ago. And then I restarted it about when the pandemic, when masks were really hot, and sold masks on it. So I used my existing store. I do have a link, an affiliate link I will give you for 40 free Etsy listings. Use that if you're going to do this because you're going to get 40 free listings. Okay, next, I already had a clothing store. I used to have a clothing store that was inventory based, meaning I had all the products. I'd buy the products wholesale. I would mark them up, sell them for retail, ship them back out. So I've learned a lot of mistakes. I've made a lot of costly mistakes from this, but I think that also helps me for this business. So keep that in mind going in. And here's the other things I paid for. One, I already have a paid Canva account, which is a graphic design software that you can use. You can use Canva for free, but if you're going to do print on demand, you actually have to have a paid account because you have to be able to do things like use their, be able to have transparent images. Two, you need to know a bit about graphic design. I'm not going to lie. If your images are crap, they're not going to sell. Okay, I also use Printify. This is a place where it has print on demand, where you have to have a bunch of different products, cell phone cases, t-shirts, blankets, ornaments, tons of different things that they have where you can print your items on it. Pro, someone does it for you. Con, someone does it for you and you don't really have control. So you're relying on them to do all this stuff for you. And it syncs up with Etsy. Okay, so things that didn't work. One, I also have a Creative Fabrica account. This is another software where you can buy images and fonts and things like that. But you can't just take, I've seen people just take the Creative Fabrica image. Let's say it's a nice snowflake tree image. And then they shove it on a shirt. This isn't going to work because this just looks like everyone else's stuff. You need to make your unique designs. And I see lots of people doing that wrong. So if you are going to use it, you need to alter the images. Another issue is mock-ups. When you use these print-on-demand photos or products, they give you photos with your graphic on it, but it's up to you to make sure your mock-ups look good. Or you have pictures. Like for example, let's say you have a t-shirt. This t-shirt is pink. You need to have a nice picture so someone buys it. They're not going to buy off shitty photos. Like think about your products that you have bought before. You're buying from a store that has a nice brand. Let's say Gap, Lululemon. I'm making this up. I don't know where you shop. But they usually have a nice brand aesthetic. There's something appealing to you. They have a style. That's the problem I see with Etsy stores. A lot of Etsy stores are just throwing up random crap, hoping something sticks. But really, you need to figure out a niche and stick with it and then throw up items or make items that are related to that. And for example, one item that's really popular but kind of saturated is nurses. There's a lot of nurses out there, but there's a lot of nurse t-shirts, right? So you got to make yours different. Like whatever your niche is, you got to stick with it. Okay. Another item or issue that I had come up that people don't talk about in this is customer service. One item I've been getting daily sales now, which is amazing, but one item sat in production for 4 days and it didn't ship. And this customer specifically emailed and said, can I have this item in the next 2 weeks for this event? And I've said, no, I can't promise you anything because I can't control shipping. And not only that, I can't control actually making the product. I'm not even making it. So then the supplier on Printify, there's a bunch of different suppliers, it sat there for 4 days. Today, she emailed and said, I want a refund. I gave a refund immediately. I canceled it in Printify, but it actually hasn't been confirmed yet. But it's such a pain because you don't have control over this. You have to just keep an eye on it all the time. Okay, another issue is you need to branch off Etsy. So this is another disclaimer. I have a background. I also work for an agency that makes websites. So we make websites in WordPress. The agency is called Blah Labs. And we also, another thing that you can do is make a website in WordPress and use WooCommerce. That's what I'm doing right now. I figured out what niche works for me. Let's say your niche is dog, specifically Labrador dogs. You can make a website with just Labrador dog items, Labrador dog tags, Labrador dog food. I don't know, I'm making that up. Things just for lab dogs. So now that I figured out my niche, I'm going to have my own website, but I also have those skills to make it because I work at an agency. If you do need a website, let me know. We can help you. But there's another easier one because WooCommerce and WordPress can be a little difficult on your own, is you can use Shopify. And again, Shopify does charge you monthly, but they have amazing customer service and it's actually a lot easier to use than WooCommerce, to be honest. But WooCommerce and WordPress, you pay up front. Like let's say if you pay me and my company to make your website, you don't have to pay monthly fees. But you do need a Stripe account, so there's lots of pros and cons. Another thing they don't talk about with this startup model or this business model is that it's so much work. Like it's so much work up front. You don't know what's going to take off. You could invested a month in making dog shirts for labs and no one buys your stuff. They could suck. Maybe it's a wrong niche. Maybe it's crowded. Maybe you didn't do enough marketing. You also kind of need, I haven't done this yet, but you also need to start doing things like ads. Like how are you going to drive traffic to your Shopify or WooCommerce website, right? If you branch off of Etsy. There's so many things that I feel like they don't talk about in this. You just see the clickbait videos of like, you can have success. So that's why I really wanted to make this video because I've been doing it for 2 months. I have made a profit, but then I also spent money on things like, making a WooCommerce WordPress website. I had to go buy a domain name. If you want to do ads, you spend money in that. To buy some mock-ups of the pink shirt, I had to go buy that, right? Like there's lots of fees that come up that I feel like they don't talk about. They're just spitting out the affiliate links. And you do make some profit off the affiliate links. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna drop my affiliate links in here too. But there's lots of things that can go wrong with this. And you're not guaranteed to make any money. So that's my real life results. So I have made money, but it's not a lot. Like when you think about how much work I've done.